There's such a buzz about dance. I can forget that it's human.
Every movement has sort of a gravity or a weight or a meaning.
They're clever girls, you know, they'll find something that they'll like, and it probably won't be what you see here. It'll probably be something very, very different.
The Dublin Dance Festival is the premier dance event on the Irish arts calendar. Each year in May, the festival brings together dance artists and choreographers from across the world. 2012 saw the 8th edition of the festival, and the first for new festival director Julia Carruthers, who arrived having been head of dance and performance at South Bank Centre in London. Sky Arts joined up with the festival to soak up some of the atmosphere, but in particular to spend time with 2 Irish-based dance companies as they rehearsed new pieces making their world premiere. Liz Roach and her company have been an integral part of Ireland's dance community since 1999. They opened the festival with Body and Forgetting at the Samuel Beckett Theatre in Dublin's Trinity College, a piece that explored themes of loss, separation, hope and control. Junk Ensemble is sisters Megan and Jessica Kennedy. Their piece was called The Falling Song and performed by an international all-male cast and the children's choir Piccolo Lasso. It looked at the nature of flying and falling and the dangerous relationship between the two. We spent the 4 weeks in the lead up to their premieres, finding out about their work, the thinking that goes into making new dance, and what they were feeling as they prepared to unveil these new pieces.
And go.
Renowned for creating works that are both delicate and powerful, Liz Roach brought together a group of dancers to explore the notion of loss and separation, both on film and on stage. Rehearsals began at the Dance House in Dublin.
Just do the hop around again for a second. What I'm looking at in this piece is this sense of being in and being out. That sense of being inside an experience and being outside of the experience. Okay, let's just try this. Let's just have a look at it. Why I've called it Body and Forgetting. I've called it that for lots of reasons, but it is also that sense of often when you're sick or when something goes wrong, you have this really clear feeling of that, you know, that your body is something very separate to you. So can I just see how you guys would continue now that you're in kind of different places? This really is a very clear thing, this thing about being inside and being outside. And I think that that's ultimately what I'm looking at in the piece, being connected, not being connected, flowing with and not flowing with. And I think the dancers are also experiencing that they're going through states of, well, now I'm just a dancer here, and now I'm really in something that's integrated. Now I'm outside of that and I'm having to force my body into something. So we're looking at it in quite a real way, I would hope. You could go out that way, change your leg, step back to that leg. And also, somewhere in there, it's your fear of your future self. I think it's a strong tension, this feeling of forgetting. And for me, it's brought up a lot, and it's brought up a lot of tension that I can really bounce off. So he's there. As they go into this next material, you do the jump, okay? So if you could do one of, are you on the wrong side for the shoot leg out that goes under there?
I think she's the real thing because she's a real steps maker. She can craft phrases of steps. She can do beautiful solo material. She knows how to choose dancers that have a great chemistry together in a group. In a time when there's perhaps a little bit too much of dancers talking, dancers singing, dancers showing slides of themselves as children, you know, anything to avoid making steps and sustaining a piece of choreography. Liz is doing the steps and the choreography and giving people proper material.
Liz set up her company with her sister Jenny Roach in 1999 as Rex Levitate's dance company. Her sister and family continue to provide an important sounding board when creating a new piece of work.
I'm a little bit caught between, there's moments where they're in kind of full, proper movement. And then we kind of started to do this thing. Alex, the girls are kind of putting things into Alex's hands and he's just dropping them as he's moving. And it's really beautiful, but it's just very real. Mm-hmm. And I'm just working out, can something really real sit beside something that's kind of movement?
Mm. Are you going to keep that section with Justine quite close to the camera? Because that's almost a point where she's almost forward enough to be in the space or on the stage or something.
Yeah, I have her downstage actually doing it. No, you know the time when yourself and Grant and Justine come in? I have her downstage.
Doing it at the same time?
Doing the same time, and then Alex is dropping everything with Liv and Lucia putting it on him.
Yeah.
Liz's family live in County Tipperary in beautiful grounds that offer a haven of peace and tranquility.
When I'm making a piece, a lot of the time, the thoughts in my head are going pretty constantly. When I come here, it's like the silence drowns all of that out for a while. And probably when I get back in the car, it's all of the, how's that going to work? And I realise that it's kind of running constantly through my head. Because the silence is sort of, it's very strong here. I feel myself making it from a very intuitive place, which I mightn't have allowed myself in the past to go fully into. I'm really relying on that voice that's going, well, you know that this is what you have to do. I'm usually very structured in how I see the space in terms of perspective and line, and I can't really usually abide mess. And for some reason with this piece, the line is really upsetting me. So it's like I look at something and it's like, oh, that needs to be messed up. That needs to be like, and actually for me, that really feels like something very human is coming in. I really enjoy that you're crafting and it's with people. There are times in rehearsal when everybody is understanding and you know that you're all flowing towards it, and that's a really great feeling. Just in terms of just being able to connect into the group and then to separate out and then to connect in. So it's just very nice when those moments really do connect in. Like I would always hope that I could find something that was real for people and that they would maybe see a movement or see an expression or a texture in somebody that could encompass a lot, you know, and that it wouldn't be so far away from them. Are you guys okay? Yeah. That's good. Well done. Are you okay? Mr. Naggers.
It got really warm. It was good.
Yeah, yeah. Try not let it get too cold now. No. Just keep it wrapped and stuff like that. Well done. Okay. Liv, you can take more time on the duet.
With Lucia?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Like, it's fine what you did there, but it's also fine that it takes more time. Just done the dress rehearsal. It's just at a very tense moment. Liv got injured last night, so last night was spent wondering if she would be able to do it, but she's grand. Okay, thanks a million. I'll come down to you, like, and cry. Actually, I don't cry. I'm so cold at this point. I'm like, have a lovely show. Okay, but well done, and you're okay? No, you're in agony. I've drugs. Festival is always a rush. You know, I forgot what it's like to open a show in a festival. I haven't done it for a couple of years. Like, it would be great to have more time. It's terrible when you're like, oh, we could fix that and that and that, but it'll just have to be what it is now.
everything went well. Yeah, no, I'm delighted. Yeah, they just sort of switched it on and performed very well. Like this whole thing about being inside and outside at the same time, they sort of did it. Yeah, it was great.
The following day, we caught up with Liv O'Donoghue as she recovered from her injuries and rehearsed for her own piece, Prompted Breathless.
I think Liz was really happy. There was a bit of last-minute drama, injuries and the like, in the dress rehearsal. But, you know, lots of physio and we got through it. I think you can go more into the... feels a bit stuck. I'm very inspired by Liz's work and the way that she works. The way that she choreographs, you know, the way that she crafts a piece is very inspiring. We do the shuffle back together though. Okay. So we're back in today. You know, we've got 4 days to get it together. And, you know, these things come together.
As well as being a part of Liz Roach's company and producing her own work, Liv is an associate artist at Dance Ireland and has performed and collaborated with a number of other dance companies, including Junk Ensemble, run by twin sisters Megan and Jessica Kennedy, who were preparing to premiere their new work, The Falling Song, at Project Arts Centre, as part of the dance festival's second week.
They've got a real intelligence about how to get the message out, how to publicise themselves. It's no big surprise to me that we're using a fantastic photo from them on one of the covers.
We're very, very ready. Happy to share it. Absolutely. And the performers are ready and they're stunning.
The Dublin Dance Festival's programme described any new work by Junk Ensemble as being eagerly anticipated. Having won the Best Production Award at the 2011 Absolute Fringe and listed as a Sunday Times highlight of last year, Junk have managed to build an impressive reputation. The company was established by Megan and Jessica Kennedy with a commitment to creating works of brave and imaginative dance theatre. Their productions are often created in collaboration with artists from other disciplines to produce a rich mix of visual and performance styles that seek to challenge the traditional audience-performer relationship. They rehearsed and dreamt up the name for their company in the garden of their family's home in Dublin.
So if we start with Escape and then Pull, and then what we really do need to do, and we'll just say this is Tuesday now, is work out spacing, so anything that's space related.
This house is kind of a house of culture. It always feels that there's inspiration in every room. There's a lot of books and a lot of plays and a lot of literature all around. We wrote the first piece that we did called Watch Her Disappear outside in the garden. It was a really sunny day and we spent the whole day talking about it and started writing the text.
Well, I wonder if it's possible to swap the bass line. Well, how do you speak to Dennis?
I think one person does the bass line. It started out as more of a development from us being twins, and we would work on pieces that had these kinds of themes like schizophrenia, where we were looking at different facets of inside someone's head. And then a lot of work also is about our family or about our background and our own memories.
Freud finally came to identify the instinctual dualism underlying the complex in human life as the dualism of life.
Their latest piece was called The Falling Song. 4 male dancers, Omar Gordon, Carl Harrison, Eddie Kay, Jesse Kovask, explored how male physicality can be pushed to the extremities to explore self-destruction, invincibility and failure.
I'm interested in parkour and I started training in it, which is tracing your environment in as fast and as efficiently as possible. I was really interested in that flight that you get in that technique, and continued that training, and I just saw less and less scope choreographically for it, but the flight and the falling continued in our heads for that, and also that you fail a lot and you have to just get up and try again. The failing aspect really hit home. attempting to fall or attempting to fly, and that the failing really interested us, and so that brought in notions of self-destructiveness. Whoa. We're interested in the nature of self-destruction within men, and where it can lead you. These different strands, which include suicide, and because it's more prevalent in men. It's one of those contentious subjects that people tiptoe around, and Ireland is definitely one of those. There really is no right or wrong when it comes to it, and everyone has something quite important to say about it. It's not a piece about suicide, it's something that we're looking at and kind of goes under the banner of self-destructive behaviour. The vulnerability of men is something that's really quite interesting, and doing the research on how closed off people, a lot of men tend to feel, and not being able to speak about their feelings. A lot of the improvisations that we started with was to do with characters that we had in mind for the actual performers. So a stoic character that holds on to something and doesn't relent and sticks through. And another character was self-destructive. Another character had to complete everything that hadn't been finished, or in his mind hadn't been finished. And another character failed at everything. We're putting in these 40-second delays because someone commits suicide every 40 seconds in the world. When we read about it, we latched on to the 40-second just because seconds and minutes is so relevant in movement, and we thought it would be interesting to do a 40-second loop, or use that as a starting point at any rate.
During rehearsals, Megan and Jessica took dancer Eddie Kay to the local athletics track to learn about the art of pole vaulting, a discipline that they were keen to explore.
We're looking at failure and when things don't quite make it. So I'm interested in seeing Eddie doing this over and over again. Each fall is generally varied a bit to the one previous.
The more linear it is, the sort of more control I feel that I can have. Like, it feels that I can do something else. Like the one I tried 2 times ago, I tried to just twist my body around because I felt like I had time to do it. Well, from my point of view, it's not so much about trying to achieve the shape of a pole vaulter. It's actually more about trying to complete the grace, the pinnacle of your body just before it sort of descends into the sort of the abyss or whatever happened. But it's more about that suspended moment for me and what I can actually achieve with my body when I'm up there.
This is uncontrolled. We'll control it as much as we can, but there is that element of danger.
The project was conceived to involve both movement and song. The Piccolo Lasso Choir, based in Dublin, caters for young boys and girls aged from 9 to 16 years.
1, 2, 3, go!
The body will drown and the soul will break loose. I write all this down, but I don't have proof.
We always wanted to work with a children's choir, but with the content matter of this piece, it really worked, particularly because it's an all-male cast and the subject matter is quite dark. So they bring a really vulnerable element to it. And when you finish singing, where do you walk? Off stage this way, exactly.
Junk Ensemble's technical rehearsals and performance took place at Dublin's Project Arts Centre. We caught up with them just prior to their premiere.
So this is our 7th week, and we did 6 weeks full rehearsal and then 7th week of production. Yesterday we got into project, although we teched somewhere else, and actually we got through it quite well.
Yeah, that was spot on there.
I thought it was great. It was a wonderful show. Very happy with it. It's the best that the guys have done it. The best that the choir have done it. Really pleased with the lighting, and I think the audience enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, there's definitely quirkiness in it, but there were certain bits that I'd never found humorous and that people definitely did find some inkling of comedy in. So generally they find people falling funny. It's true. Yeah. Really impressed with those, actually. It's not very much time, and they worked so hard, and it's tribute to the team that we were working with and the performers, and the fact that we had research and development time before we went into rehearsal, and yeah, it just goes to show that you can, if you really put yourself to it, you can produce something. Well, in our heads, it's something that we're really happy with.
To run a festival, you have to be bold, otherwise people won't come.
Audiences are extraordinarily open here.
It's not static, that you'll always be invited to something and you need to go because it could be really interesting.
There's a lot of scope for all sorts of different types of work, I think.
You have a real sense here that culture is treasured and appreciated.